get ourselves back up in there in a fighting chance because like some of the top people struggled this week, and we didn't take advantage of it. So it was a missed opportunity on that front. But we will now take a look at the Week 10 lines, the NFL early lines for Week 10. And first up, we've got the Thursday night football game between the Raiders and the Broncos. Broncos got that win against the Texans, minus C.J. Stroud. Davis Mills did not look comfortable at all. The pass rush for the Broncos was able to just basically shut down the Texans' offense. The defense was outstanding, but when your offense can't even, the punters for the team, for the Broncos, was the real MVP of that game because he pinned them back so deep that the Texans just essentially, refused to do anything offensively that could potentially put them in harm's way. And their running game is not very good. Their offensive line is not a good run blocking offensive line. So they were just hamstrung. As soon as C.J. Stroud went out in that game, I knew we were in trouble. And as well as the Texans' defense played, one big run by Bo Nix at the end of the game gets them in the field goal range. They kick the field goal, and we lose that one. But the line was minus 1.5 for the Texans, so no surprise there. But now they're giving up. It's minus 8.5 against the Raiders team that just lost by a point in overtime, going for 2. They were going for the win against the Jags. I don't blame them there, but Geno Smith has never been very good in the red zone. He throws a lot of his interceptions in that condensed area of the red zone. So for them to go for it and let him throw the ball the way they did, it was bound to get deflected or intercepted or something. And I'm disappointed in myself. If you watched the show Saturday when we talked about the other games, I said that some influential people that I trust said Las Vegas was the right side, but I just didn't have it in me to put it on the card, even though I had the slide made up for week 9. But this is a big line, Thursday night football, not a lot of prep time. We got to look at the injuries for the Broncos as well as the Raiders, but as of the way it stands right now, I would take the 8.5 points with the Raiders here. Or hopefully if you can get it up to 9.5, I would take the 9.5 with the Raiders here, and let's see if the Raiders are getting rid of any of their players before the trade deadline. But we'll circle back to this one. But I certainly would take the 9.5 with the Raiders here because the Broncos' offense is not putting up a lot of points, and the Raiders could potentially backdoor this thing. 42.5. They're not expecting a very high-scoring game. So for them to lose this game as the Raiders, that means they're not going to score very many points, and I don't know about that. I mean, Brock Bowers looked amazing. So maybe they found a little something. We'll see how that goes. But I would take the Raiders and the points. As far as the total goes, I don't know where I would stand on this one. I'd probably go over the 42.5. No, under. I'd go under. And give me the Raiders and the points. Falcons and Colts. This is the international game being played in Germany. So another early start on Sunday, especially out here on the West Coast. The game starts at 6 o'clock in the morning. The only benefit is that our games end early. Like the Sunday night football game is over by 8 o'clock. So or 8:15, whatever, 8:20. So that's always nice compared to on the East Coast where I'm originally from, where you're up till midnight watching the games. But the Falcons, fucking field goal kicker, man. This dude can't make a fucking extra point when it matters the most. I mean, how do you rely on somebody like that going down the stretch of the season when these guys can't make kicks when it matters? I mean, they have an opportunity to tie the game against the New England Patriots on the road, and this dude doinks it off the fucking upright. Come on, man. You're a professional kicker. That's all you do all day. And yet they lose that game by a point. Cover the spread. They were getting 5.5. Just brutal as a Falcons fan. That was just a terrible ending. But now they're taking on the Colts. Colts also losers against the Steelers. Steelers, I believe, created 6 turnovers in that game. So this was the game that was bound to happen eventually. And with the Steelers, they're very good at creating turnovers. So no surprise. I mean, 6 is a lot, but and it still took all those turnovers. It was like the New England game. It took all those turnovers for the Steelers just to barely win that game. Now the Colts are going to come out. This is almost a good thing because it's a reset for the Colts that they lose a game like that, and now the coaches can go in on Monday and Tuesday when they start practicing and really ride their asses, because now you're not the hot team anymore. You're not the number one team in the NFL right now. You're the team that just got your ass kicked on the road against a Steelers team that's barely above water, and they can really get on them. Got to check the the injuries for both teams. Penix still gives me concern. I mean, without Drake London, the offense seems to just sputter. I don't really feel like they're using Bijan Robinson enough, but I'm not a big fan of Raheem Morris as the head coach anyway. But here we are, 5.5 again, or 6, depending on where you're at. It's another game. Well, I would take the Falcons because the Falcons secondary might be able to put the clamps on this Colts passing game. They kind of struggle against the run, but they are one of the higher rated defenses in the league. Colts still have question marks in their secondary where the Falcons could potentially exploit this, and they are in Germany, so this is the international game. No home field advantage for either team. Obviously, the travel and everything always makes this a little more difficult. So give me the Falcons and the points here. And give me the under 48.5. I don't expect this to be a high-scoring game. We're going to see a lot of running by both teams. We're going to see a lot of running of the clock. We could potentially see some field goals as these teams, when you get down in the red zone, maybe they're able to hold them to field goals instead of touchdowns, chew up a lot of this clock. So give me the under. I prefer the under in this game. I doubt this will make the card. Of course, I said that last week about the Kansas City Chiefs, and they did, and I said that about the Falcons, and I had them, and I didn't use them, and they would have covered. So very disappointed in myself for not trusting in my own notes, because I can even show you. If you look at this right here, that's the lineup I had that I didn't use. Minnesota, Denver, San Francisco, the Los Angeles Rams, and the Seattle Seahawks. That was the lineup I was going to go with, and I changed it. I could have went 5-0. So, need to definitely trust in myself, in my own opinions on these games going forward. Bills and Dolphins. Dolphins are sellers here. They're getting rid of some of their guys before the trade deadline. We still have time before that's over. They could potentially get rid of Waddle. I hear that he's a very popular trade candidate. So we don't know what team we're going to get with the Dolphins. Buffalo Bills come out, handle business against the Kansas City Chiefs at home. They really put pressure on Patrick Mahomes. I was surprised by that. I didn't think they were going to be able to do that, but the Chiefs were missing Simmons, and they were missing one other offensive lineman, which didn't help them out against the Bills pass rush. That hadn't been great, but man, they really played up to their highest level in this game, in the game against Kansas City. Now they're laying 9.5 on the road against Miami. Buffalo always tends to struggle in Miami, but a lot of times that's early season games where it's hot and humid, and they put them on the side of the stadium where you're in the sun all day. This is an early start, so the same thing. They're going to be in the sun. Of course, it is November, but it's South Florida, so it's still going to be hot. I don't really have a real strong opinion on this game because we don't know what we're getting with the Dolphins, but we know that when Buffalo wins, they normally win by double digits. Although they did struggle against this Miami team on Thursday Night Football. That was a different team. I believe that was the game that Tyreek Hill got injured. So the different team in the Buffalo Bills. But now the Buffalo Bills are going to be the big popular media darling after their win. So give me the 9.5 with Miami. But I don't see using this at all in the contest. And then obviously the total sitting here at anywhere from 49.5. I don't think the Bills are going to run up the score. They might. No, give me the under, and I would take the points with the Dolphins, but I am not confident in that team at all. Now, this is one I've actually flagged this game. and we need to see what's going on. The Bears have lost a bunch of guys on their defensive side of the ball. I mean, obviously they didn't do shit against the Bengals offense. They gave up all those 40 whatever points. Yeah, they were able to score a lot of points last week, but that was against a very bad Bengals defense. Now they're going up against the Giants. Jackson Dart didn't look horrible against San Francisco, but I felt the injuries for the Giants, particularly in the secondary, were going to expose their defense against the 49ers offense. That was one of our 2 wins. We had the Niners. I like the Giants in this one. This one is in my first 5 of my first thoughts for this week. I want to see what Jackson Dart looks like throughout practice because he did bang up his shoulder. Daboll said he's okay. Let's see where that goes. But as of right now, I'm leaning, or not leaning, I'm saying I like the Giants plus the 3.5 here. I don't think this Bears defense is very good, and the offense just looked really good against a bad defense. I think this Giants pass rush could give Caleb Williams trouble, and if some of their offensive guys are out, this could really hamstring this Bears offense. So give me the Giants plus the 3.5, and I'll take the over 47.5. Saints and Panthers. Saints plus 5.5. The Panthers pulled off the big upset. They were the big winner in the Survivor. They eliminated, I think, almost 250 entries by beating the Packers out of Circa Survivor. So they were the big winner in Survivor if you weren't on the Packers, or the big disappointment if you were on the Packers. Now they're going home where they've played well. Minus 5.5 against a Saints team that did not look good last week against the Rams. Their rookie quarterback, played like a rookie. I mean, what do you expect? They made some plays, but overall, they couldn't stop that Rams offense, and they just couldn't get anything going against that defense. Now they got to go up against the Panthers team. Defense not very good. They're good against the run. And I think this Panthers team is going to be able to get it done at home. So give me the 5.5 and give me the over 39.5. I think this is going to be like a 28-13 game. 28-14, something like that. So give me the Panthers minus the points and give me the over on this low total, as I think they'll be able to run the ball. Bryce Young has got a bunch of good good wide receivers, and if their offensive line is healthy, I think they're good, and they'll be able to stuff the run against the Saints, force them to pass the ball, and that's not a winning recipe for them. Browns and Jets, ugly game. It's also in my top 5 first thoughts. I like the Browns plus the 2.5. I think people are forgetting just how good this defense was before they went on the bye. And Dylan Gabriel is playing okay. I think he's getting more comfortable in this offense. Judkins, their running backs, playing well. They're going to get, I think they got one of their wide receivers back from IR, going up against a Jets team that people saw win their first game of the year before they went on the bye. And I have no confidence in this Jets team whatsoever. I don't think they're very well coached. I don't think they're very well motivated. A lot of these guys just seem very blasé about where they are because the season's essentially already over at the midway point. Meanwhile, the Browns are fighting every week. They're playing hard every week. Their defense is definitely playing hard every week. So I like the Browns here. Give me the 2.5 with the road team. And give me the under 37, as I do not expect this to be a very high-scoring game. This is going to be like 16-10, 14-10, 17-10, 17-13, something like that. It's going to be a low-scoring game, but I expect the Browns to pull this out. This is in my top 5 considerations. This is an early bet. So give me the Browns plus the 2.5. Jacksonville and Houston. Now, I originally put Houston minus the 1.5 because their defense is just outstanding. I think they're really going to be all over this Jaguars team. They're missing Travis Hunter for another week. I just don't know what you're going to get from Davis Mills. That's what gives me concern. And C.J. Stroud's still in the concussion protocol. It's pretty much looking like it's going to be Mills this week. He did not look good last week, and the running game really struggled. But this Jags defense is really taking some steps back since they haven't been creating turnovers. And this Houston defense is just outstanding. I mean, if you take away the one blown coverage by Stingley against Sutton, that was the only touchdown that they gave up in that game. And it was just a bad defensive play by him that allowed the receiver to get open. Other than that, they just essentially shut down that entire Broncos offense for most of that game. Their Texans offense just let them down because they flipped the field, couldn't get out of their own area by the end zone, and when they would punt the ball back to Denver, Denver's starting the ball at their own 40-yard line or even at midfield. So it was just a tough spot for this Texans defense. But I believe that they're the better unit in this game, and I it's still up in the air with Davis Mills. I mean, he did not give me any confidence, but that Broncos defense is really good. That is not the Jacksonville Jaguars defense, so I think they might have more success. So as of right now, I do like Houston, even though they failed for us last week. It's one of those things where you have to take it with a grain of salt because I wasn't expecting C.J. Stroud to get knocked out of that game as early as he did, and it really just changed the whole dynamic of that game. So give me the Texans minus the 1.5 at home. This is I think their third straight home game, so that should be good for them. And give me the under 38.5. Again, this is not going to be a very high-scoring game. We've got some low totals this week in the NFL. But, yeah, give me the under 38.5 and give me the Texans minus the 1.5. I mean, Jacksonville struggled against the Raiders defense, and the Raiders defense is not good. Patriots and Bucks. This is a big game. Big game. Bucks coming back off the bye. Patriots coming off that big dramatic win at home. Now they're going on the road. They're plus 2.5, taking on Tampa. We got to see what we're going to get from Tampa. Who's playing, who's not playing on offense particularly. When are the Patriots going to stumble? I mean, they stumbled against the spread last week, but they still won the game. When are they going to stumble? The minus 2.5 is that fishing line again. This is a tough game to handicap. We're going to have to look more into the Buccaneers' injuries, see who the Patriots have available for them this week. I would take the Bucks at home right now, minus the 2.5. I think Todd Bowles will come up with a good game plan to try to slow down Drake May and his passing offense of the Patriots. And if Baker Mayfield has enough people on offense to throw the ball to, they could definitely exploit the secondary of this Patriots team and running the ball. Got to see if they're going to get back their running back that had been injured the last couple of weeks for the Bucs. I can't think of his name right now, but if he's back as well, that could add an extra element to this game for the Buccaneers. So right now I'm leaning. I say Bucs minus 2.5, but this is a game we need to look more into throughout the week. Total 48.5. That seems about right. I don't think I want anything to do with the total in this game. Ravens and Vikings. Baltimore was the last of the 5 that I put in my first thoughts lineup. Minus 3.5 against a Vikings team that got a win on the road against the outstanding Detroit Lions. So that was a big win for their franchise. J.J. McCarthy comes out, gets it done. It was really the defense that was the key to this game. And what we know about Lamar Jackson, when he plays against NFC teams, he is just dominant. And it's because you don't get to see him very often. They don't play these guys very often. So when you see Lamar Jackson in real life, it's just a totally different dynamic. They looked really good on Thursday Night Football. I think they're getting things rolling. They're very motivated as a team right now. You can see the lines already moving from 3.5 to 4.5. So we'll have to see where this line goes. If you could get it to 3.5, even though it's juiced at minus 115 here, if you can find the minus 3.5, that's where I would go. And if this line doesn't move too much more dramatically, I might end up still on the Ravens here. 47.5. This is another one of those tight totals that seems just about right. I mean, if you could get it up to 48.5, I would take the under because I don't expect the Vikings to do much offensively. Remember, the Ravens got a bunch of their guys back on defense that had been injured earlier in the season as well. Lamar Jackson wasn't the only player returning. So we could definitely see a good defensive matchup between these two teams. But I'm going to take better quarterback, better running game. I think one of the running back for Vikings is also banged up. and better. Wide receivers for the Vikings are better, but the Ravens have gotten back some of their guys in the secondary. We've got to check the injuries for them as well, and they've got the mini bye from Thursday. So if you can find the -3.5, take the Ravens. Total, if you can find it at 48.5, take the under. Cardinals and Seahawks. Cardinals with the big win on Monday Night Football. Most of us who have YouTube TV didn't get to watch it, myself included. I was very disappointed. I was just watching the highlights on X because I have YouTube TV and the Sunday Ticket, but I'm not paying for this ESPN bullshit because it's just a scheme. If anything, if it sticks like this again, I'll just stop ordering YouTube TV and the NFL Ticket, and I'll just go to the casinos and watch the games there. There's 4 sports books around the corner from me, and I can go up to Reno, which is only an hour away. I go there all the time, and go to one of the nicer sports books if there's games I really want to watch, like the Pepper Mill in Reno has a really great sports book. I think I've mentioned that before. Silver Legacy also has one. Really nice. So, yep, I have options. If YouTube TV and ESPN can't straighten this shit out and they're going to keep us from being able to watch college football on ESPN and ESPN programming for the NFL, fuck them. But anyway, Cardinals got the big win against Dallas on the road. Jacoby Brissett playing well. Now, the coach said that Kyler Murray is still the starting quarterback when he comes back from injury. So I don't know how that's going to go. But they're playing the Seahawks. Seahawks got it done for us. They were one of our 2 victories along with the Niners. That was an easy win. Very, very disappointed to see Jaden Daniels go down with that severe injury in his arm. Non-throwing arm, that's at least a somewhat of a good thing. And it looks like it's a dislocation as opposed to a break. And a dislocation, as long as he didn't tear up any of the tendons or any of that stuff in his arm, he could be back earlier than expected. But just a sad footnote to that game. Seahawks just dominated that game. Their defense is phenomenal. I know people keep talking about Jackson Smith and Jigba and Sam Darnold. Watch this defense. Mike McDonald has this defense playing incredible. But the Cardinals are playing well also. They've been covering the spread, and then they got the straight-up win. Now they're getting 6.5. We need to see who's playing quarterback for the Cardinals. And I think, when they played last time in Arizona on Thursday Night Football, the Seahawks got out to a big lead, and then the Cardinals came back, and I believe the Seahawks ended up winning by 3. So as it stands right now, give me the Cardinals plus the 6.5, and give me on the total, give me the over 44.5. Give me the over. I'm expecting points. I think we're going to see some passing from both teams. Lions and Commanders. Mariota against this Lions team. I think they're going to be pissed off that they lost that game to the Vikings. This Commanders defense is bad. They also lost Marshawn Lattimore, who wasn't playing very well, but he was an important part of this defense, and now he's out. This Commanders team is just in total free fall. So give me the Lions here. I think they get back on their winning ways. They get back to covering big spreads like they always do. They're going to run the ball right all over this Commanders defense. They're not good at all. And then once you put this team, like Washington Commanders, in a bad situation where they've got to throw and rely on Marcus Mariota, I don't think that's a very good way to score points for this Commanders team. We don't even know if McLaurin's going to play. They're just completely beat up right now. This is just a team in total disarray against a Lions team that's really good, that just got caught in a bad spot against a Vikings team that came out and played probably their best game of the year. But I expect the Detroit Lions to get right back on track, start covering spreads again. So give me Detroit minus the 8.5. But give me the under 49.5 because I'm not give me the under 49.5. I'm not expecting a lot of points from the Commanders. I think this is going to be a big win, maybe 31-17. So that would give us 48. Yeah, it'll be tight. It'll be close, but give me the Lions in the under 49.5. Rams and Niners. I like the Rams minus 3.5. This is in my notes. It's one of the 5 first thoughts. This is one I'm going to bet. Niners played one of their better games against the Giants team that was really hobbled on defense, so they looked really good. But they lost more guys on defense. And this Rams team is just playing lights out. And I think they want some get back for that Thursday night loss earlier in the year. They're going to be motivated. Puka Nacua, he's got an injury, but it looks like he's going to be okay. Rams defense is playing outstanding. Don't know exactly who's going to play quarterback. If it's Brock Purdy, I actually like the Rams even more because coming back after all that off time might not be the best for him. We know the 49ers do not do well against the spread at home. They're much better on the road, at least under Kyle Shanahan. And we know McVay has Shanahan's number most of the time. I think you're going to get the best version of this Rams team. They're going to come out and really want to put it on this 49ers team after losing at home earlier in the year. Give me the Rams minus 3.5. This is one I really like this game right here. I really like this Rams team. 49.5. Give me the under again. This is going to be like 27-21. 27-21. Something like that. Give me the Rams and the under 49.5. Steelers and Chargers. Steelers with the big upset of the week, knocking off the Colts. If you follow me on X, you would have seen I posted early in the week that this was a trap. I did not like the Colts spot. Of course, I didn't have the guts to put them in my Circa picks, but I had money on them on the Steelers, so that was a good win. I didn't take the money line, though. I took the points with the Steelers, but they won the game outright. Now they're going up against a Chargers team. This Chargers team got it. They got the win, but they didn't cover because they gave up some ugly scores, non-offensive scores to the Titans and ended up failing to cover the spread. They were up by 10 and gave up a bullshit field goal at the end of the game to cut the lead down to 7. And then they got first downs when they could have been possibly forced to attempt a field goal maybe. But instead they went for it, got the first down, ran out the clock, and we failed to cover on that game. They lost Joe Alt to an injury, though, and that's devastating for this Chargers offense. I don't know what we're going to get from them. Tomlin, road dog. I don't know how many more rah-rah games he's got in him. This 3 line just seems like it might be right on the number. I mean, if you like the Steelers, take the 3.5. If you like the Chargers, try to see if maybe it goes down to 2.5. But this 3 number seems like they might be hitting this one right on the head. So this is a very difficult game to handicap. We need to see who's actually playing for both teams. If I had to make a decision right now, I would take the 3.5 with the Steelers, expecting this game to be decided by 3. And then as far as the total goes, give me the under. I think the offenses are going to struggle with the offensive line injuries for the Chargers. And the Chargers defense is still pretty good, so they could certainly put the clamps down on this Steelers offense. And this could be a game of field goals. So give me the under 45.5. And if I had to, I would take the Steelers plus 3.5. But that's very difficult. It's a Sunday night game as well. And then the Monday night game, biggest game of the week, I think. The Packers, who just came off that devastating loss at home against the Panthers, and now the Eagles coming off the bye, they just traded for some guys, so they're trying to add to their team. Another one of these 2.5 fishy lines, but I like the Eagles here. I think they're going to be able to run the ball. The Packers defense has been okay, but we just saw that they can be run on by the Panthers. So give me the Eagles with their run game, with Saquon, their offensive pieces, and the defense looks like they're getting better. They added some reinforcements to their secondary to try to shore up that weak secondary. And I think the Packers are getting I think they're just a little too popular with the public. People are seeing them play well at times, and then they struggle. I mean, they lost to the Browns. They lost to the Panthers. Give me the Eagles plus the 2.5. Give me the over 45.5, as I think both teams will score touchdowns in this game. It's not going to be a field goal game in this one. We're going to see guys like Saquon and A.J. Brown, Smith, Goddard, and then they've got a bunch of guys. I mean, they also lost Tucker Kraft, who was one of the better tight ends in the league. So that's a big hit to this Packers offense. So give me the Eagles plus the 2.5. Give me the over 45 or 44.5 in this game. So there you have it, folks. That is the Week 10 early lines picks, where we stand right now as of Tuesday, now. So let's get some more information throughout the week, and we will make better determinations. Be sure to join me on Thursday during the Thursday night football game between the Las Vegas Raiders and the Denver Broncos, as we'll be live streaming with the Circa line release and the Thursday night football watch party. Since we still get the games on Prime, that hasn't been bastardized by the YouTube ESPN spat that they got going on right now. But so to everyone out there, thank you for joining me. We'll be live on Thursday. Hopefully you had success this past week, and take care of yourselves out there.